Have you ever wondered why your skin looks more tired in the morning, even when you've done everything right with your creams, supplements, and routine? Many women over 50 wake up feeling older than they did the night before without realizing that the real damage doesn't happen during the day at all. It happens quietly every night through habits, so small and familiar that they're almost invisible. I'm Dr. Eliza Hart, a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist with over 15 years of experience helping women understand the deeper hormonal shifts that shape their skin, sleep, and overall well-being after 50. What most women don't realize is that nighttime is the body's most delicate hormonal window. It's when collagen repair, melatonin release, and cellular renewal depend on balance, calm, and the right biological cues. When these cues are disrupted even subtly, the skin loses firmness, sleep becomes lighter, and signs of aging accelerate in ways that feel frustratingly out of your control. Before we begin, I'd love to build a community of women supporting one another through this stage of life. Please subscribe, comment your country, so I know where this message is reaching around the world, and help me reach my first 20,000 subscribers. It truly gives me the motivation to continue creating these science-based guides for you. Now let's talk about the 7 nighttime mistakes that quietly break down collagen and disrupt your sleep hormones without you even noticing. Mistake number 1, late-night heavy meals. It's easy to assume that the warmth, heaviness, or discomfort you feel after a late dinner is nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Yet for many women over 50, that single choice quietly disrupts the entire nighttime repair system. When your stomach is still working hard long after you finish eating, your body cannot fully transition into the deep restorative state where collagen renewal, hormonal balance, and cellular healing are meant to occur. Instead of easing into the slow, calming descent that signals the beginning of deep rest, your system stays in an active mode, leaving you heavier, warmer, and noticeably less refreshed when morning comes. The deeper problem begins with the hormonal conflict created by digesting a heavy meal too close to bedtime. As digestion intensifies, insulin rises sharply, sending a biochemical signal that the body should remain alert rather than shift into the evening rhythm governed by melatonin. Elevated insulin suppresses melatonin production, and when melatonin declines, collagen repair declines with it. Research consistently shows that insulin spikes can reduce nighttime collagen regeneration by nearly 1/3, which explains why so many women notice deeper lines, duller tone, or morning puffiness despite following a careful skincare routine. Beyond the skin, nighttime digestion diverts blood flow toward the stomach and away from tissues that depend on steady oxygen and circulation to repair themselves. When this pattern repeats evening after evening, the face often appears more deflated, uneven, or fatigued in the morning, and the body may feel unexpectedly stiff, sluggish, or unrefreshed. Many women describe waking up with the unsettling sense that their skin has aged overnight, when in reality, the disruption began several hours earlier, long before they fell asleep. A gentler, more supportive approach can make a remarkable difference. Finishing dinner before 7 p.m. allows insulin to settle naturally and gives the digestive system enough time to complete its work before bedtime. Choosing lighter proteins, leafy greens, and fiber-rich vegetables reduces internal warmth and prevents the discomfort that keeps the body alert. Even small changes such as shifting heavier meals to lunchtime or adjusting portion sizes can noticeably improve skin radiance and deepen sleep within a matter of days. And while dinner plays a major role in shaping how the night unfolds, it is only the beginning, because another familiar evening habit often disrupts restoration even more quietly. Mistake number 2, hot showers before bed. Many women find comfort in a hot shower at the end of a long day, believing the warmth will relax tight muscles and prepare the body for sleep. It feels soothing in the moment, yet for women over 50, this familiar habit often triggers a cascade of effects that quietly interferes with both skin repair and hormonal balance. The immediate comfort can be misleading because the real impact unfolds slowly throughout the night. The first concern lies in how prolonged hot water affects the skin barrier. As estrogen naturally declines after 50, the lipid layer that helps lock in moisture becomes thinner and more delicate. When hot water repeatedly strips away those protective lipids, the skin loses hydration more quickly, becoming prone to irritation, tightness, and overnight water loss. Without adequate moisture, collagen fibers cannot maintain their structure, and the skin's nighttime repair cycle becomes noticeably weaker. This is why many women wake up feeling unexpectedly dry or see fine lines looking more pronounced the morning after a long, hot shower. Heat exposure close to bedtime also disrupts hormonal timing. A hot shower raises core body temperature and temporarily increases cortisol. Although cortisol itself is not harmful, elevated levels at night send a signal that the body should stay alert rather than settle into melatonin production. When melatonin is delayed, deep sleep becomes shorter and collagen regeneration is reduced. This explains why some women feel suddenly wide awake after a hot shower or experience fragmented sleep even on nights when they felt tired. Circulation also plays a role. Hot water initially increases blood flow, but as the skin cools afterward, moisture evaporates rapidly, leading to dullness or puffiness by morning. For women already navigating dry climates, heated bedrooms, or fluctuating hormone levels, this combination places even more stress on already sensitive skin. A gentler approach supports both comfort and physiology. Showering 1 to 2 hours before bed allows the body to cool naturally, signaling the brain that it is time to wind down. Keeping water around 37-38 degrees Celsius helps preserve the moisture barrier, and using mild cleansers prevents additional stripping. Even subtle adjustments, shorter showers, slightly lower temperature, or applying a nourishing moisturizer afterward can significantly improve skin hydration, enhance overnight repair, and make sleep more restorative. And while shower habits play an important role in shaping how your night unfolds, another common bedtime routine affects melatonin even more directly. Mistake number 3, screens within 1 hour of sleep. For many women over 50, checking a phone or watching a short video before bed feels like a harmless way to unwind. It creates the impression of relaxation, yet this familiar habit is one of the most powerful disruptors of nighttime hormones. What seems like a quiet distraction actually sends a clear signal to the brain that night has not fully begun, delaying the biological shift your body relies on to repair collagen and enter deep restorative sleep. The problem begins with how the brain interprets blue light. As estrogen gradually declines after 50, melatonin production becomes far more sensitive to light exposure. When the eyes receive blue light from screens, the brain responds as if it is still daytime, suppressing melatonin by as much as 50 to 70%. With melatonin, reduced collagen renewal slows inflammation, becomes harder to regulate, and the sleep cycle shifts into a lighter, more fragmented pattern. This is why many women feel tired, yet unable to fall into the deep stage their body needs. Screens also stimulate cognitive activity. Even neutral content activates dopamine and increases mental alertness, preventing the natural evening slowdown that prepares the brain for sleep. For many women, this leads to a restless mind, difficulty settling, and a sense of waking unrefreshed no matter how many hours they spend in bed. Over time, this pattern contributes to morning puffiness, a duller complexion, and the unsettling feeling that the skin is aging more quickly. Emotionally charged digital content can intensify the effect. Reading upsetting news or checking unfinished messages elevates adrenaline and subtly raises cortisol. When cortisol rises at night, melatonin is pushed down even further, shrinking the window for true skin repair and deep recovery. A more supportive nighttime rhythm begins with stepping away from screens at least 1 hour before bed. Night shift mode helps but cannot fully remove blue light, so pairing it with softer lighting, gentle breathing, or a calming routine makes a much greater difference. Many women find that keeping the phone outside the bedroom reduces the temptation to check it. These small adjustments help melatonin rise naturally, deepen sleep, and restore the hormonal balance your skin depends on. And while screens play a major role in shaping how your night unfolds, another seemingly simple environmental factor often disrupts restoration just as significantly. Mistake number 4: sleeping in a warm room. There is a familiar comfort many women associate with a warm bedroom, the feeling of stepping into a protected, soothing space at the end of the day. It seems nurturing at first, yet this warmth quietly disrupts the physiological transitions your body depends on as night falls. Instead of encouraging deep restoration, an overheated room interferes with the delicate shifts in temperature, hormones, and circulation that determine how well you sleep and how refreshed your skin appears the next morning. As estrogen decreases with age, the body becomes more reactive to temperature, especially during nighttime hours. A room that is only slightly too warm prevents the natural cooling phase the brain relies on to initiate melatonin release. When cooling is delayed, melatonin rises more slowly, pushing back the moment your body enters the deep sleep stages responsible for collagen repair and cellular renewal. Many women later describe waking with faint puffiness, mild warmth in the face, or a sense of having slept lightly without realizing their bedroom temperature was the underlying cause. Heat also alters circulation in subtle ways. Instead of allowing blood to settle into a calm, restorative pattern, excessive warmth widens surface vessels and forces the body to work harder to regulate temperature. Even if you don't fully wake, this internal effort fragments sleep and reduces the amount of time spent in true recovery. Over time, these small disturbances create morning dullness, increased dryness, and a muted glow that no product can fully compensate for. Creating a more supportive environment is surprisingly simple. Lowering the thermostat by just a few degrees, choosing breathable bedding, or sleeping in lighter fabrics helps your body reach its natural cooling rhythm. Many women benefit from gentle airflow, whether from a small fan or a partially opened window, both of which help maintain consistent nighttime comfort. And because every woman's home environment is different, I'd love to learn from your experience. Share in the comments how you manage your bedroom temperature, as your insights often help others who face the same struggle. When you adjust your nighttime space with even small intentions, you give your body the quiet foundation it needs to enter its deeper healing cycles. And while temperature strongly shapes the quality of your nights, there is yet another habit unexpected in its impact that can influence your evenings just as significantly. Mistake number 5: using harsh night creams. Nighttime skincare often comes with the hope that the right product will help the skin wake looking smoother, calmer, and more restored. Yet for many women over 50, those efforts unintentionally move in the opposite direction. The complexion becomes far more reactive after menopause, and when a product is too strong or layered with intense actives, the skin perceives it not as nourishment but as an additional source of strain. By morning, this strain quietly reveals itself through dryness, tightness, or a roughened texture that feels inconsistent with the care invested. A major reason harsh creams cause trouble lies in the structural changes of the skin. As estrogen declines the lipid barrier, the thin, protective layer that locks in moisture gradually weakens, making the skin more vulnerable to ingredients it once tolerated easily. When a cream contains strong exfoliants, high-dose retinoids, or artificial fragrances, this fragile barrier becomes disrupted. Moisture escapes more readily, irritation develops quickly, and collagen repair slows as the skin shifts into defense mode rather than restoration. Biologically, the issue is even more pronounced. Potent actives accelerate cell turnover, a process that younger skin manages efficiently, but aging skin struggles to keep up with. Instead of generating healthier collagen, the skin responds with low-grade inflammation, slowly weakening the fibers responsible for firmness and elasticity. Many women notice fine lines looking sharper, or the skin feeling slightly inflamed after using a powerful formula, unaware that the product is asking the skin to perform beyond its current hormonal capacity. Nighttime hormones also play a critical role. Irritated skin increases local cortisol activity, and when cortisol rises at night, it disrupts the natural pathways that guide the skin into deeper repair. This narrows the restorative window, leaving the complexion to wake looking more fatigued, even with a seemingly diligent routine. A more supportive approach focuses on strengthening rather than stimulating. Peptides, ceramides, niacinamide, squalane, and gentle botanical oils help reinforce the skin's resilience, so moisture remains stable through the night. When the barrier feels protected, the complexion often looks calmer and more luminous by morning. And while choosing the right product can significantly shape the skin's overnight repair, there is another nightly behavior completely unrelated to skincare that influences the night's outcome just as meaningfully. Mistake number 6, worrying or overthinking before bed. Even when the house grows quiet and the lights dim, many women find their minds becoming noticeably more active at night. Thoughts that felt manageable during the day begin looping with greater intensity, creating a sense of inner tension that makes it harder to settle. This type of mental unrest may appear harmless, yet it directly interferes with the physiological shifts your body depends on to repair collagen, stabilize hormones, and enter restorative sleep. As estrogen declines, the nervous system becomes more reactive to stress signals, particularly in the evening when cortisol should naturally taper off. When the mind continues replaying conversations, sorting through unfinished tasks, or worrying about the next day, cortisol remains elevated longer than the body anticipates. This delay slows the rise of melatonin, postpones the transition into deep sleep, and shortens the overnight window in which collagen repair can occur. Many women later notice a fatigued expression or a dullness around the eyes without recognizing that the disruption began with the thoughts they carried into bed. Overthinking also shifts breathing patterns in subtle ways. The breath becomes shallower and more irregular, reducing the oxygen supply needed for healthy cellular regeneration. When this becomes a nightly pattern, the skin may appear less firm, and mornings may begin with a mental heaviness that seems disproportionate to the previous day's stress. It isn't the thoughts themselves that cause harm, but the prolonged physical response the body maintains while those thoughts are active. A gentler pre-sleep ritual can make an enormous difference. Taking a few minutes to write down lingering concerns or tasks helps clear mental space. Slow, steady breathing, inhale for 4 counts, and lengthen the exhale signals the nervous system that it is safe to unwind. Many women also find that dimming the lights earlier, limiting stimulating conversations late in the evening, or establishing a consistent wind-down routine helps the mind recognize that the day is truly ending. The goal isn't to eliminate thoughts, but to soften the body's reaction to them. When the mind eases its grip, cortisol naturally declines, melatonin rises more smoothly, and the skin receives a better environment for overnight repair. And while mental tension is a powerful influence on nighttime restoration, there remains another daily habit, subtle yet impactful, that shapes how refreshed you feel when morning returns. Mistake number 7, drinking too little water in the evening. Many women intentionally reduce water intake at night, hoping to avoid waking during their sleep. Although understandable, this habit often leads the body into the nighttime hours slightly dehydrated, and that mild imbalance influences almost every restorative process meant to unfold while you rest. What seems like a simple precaution gradually affects both the quality of sleep and the way the skin appears in the morning. With age and declining estrogen, the skin naturally loses moisture more easily and depends more heavily on internal hydration to maintain elasticity during the night. When the body enters sleep without sufficient fluid, reserves the deeper layers of the skin struggle to retain pressure and suppleness. By morning, this often shows up as a flatter complexion, more pronounced fine lines, or a generally tired appearance. Not because aging accelerated, but because the skin lacked the moisture it needed to repair itself effectively. Hydration also shapes nighttime circulation. Blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to tissues that rebuild while you sleep, including collagen-producing cells. When hydration is low, circulation becomes less efficient, and the delivery of these essential components slows. Many women wake with a sense of incomplete rest, describing it as feeling not fully restored even after a full night of sleep. Temperature regulation adds another layer. The body relies on water to disperse heat and guide the internal temperature downward, the very shift that supports melatonin release. When fluid levels are too low, cooling becomes less accurate, and the transition into deeper sleep phases may be delayed or inconsistent. Even if you don't fully wake, rest becomes lighter and more easily disrupted. Supporting hydration does not require drinking excessive water. A single moderate glass taken an hour or two before bed usually provides what the body needs without creating discomfort. Warm water or mild herbal infusions can be gentler options for those who prefer a slower approach. After several nights, many women notice subtle improvements: softer skin in the morning, a steadier sleep rhythm, and a clearer sense of mental freshness. Once hydration is aligned with your body's needs, the broader pattern becomes easier to see. Small nighttime choices, especially those that appear insignificant, can shape the entire restorative landscape of your sleep and your skin. To help your body shift back into its natural nighttime rhythm, the most effective approach is to introduce small, deliberate adjustments that work together rather than trying to change everything at once. Begin by giving your evenings a clearer structure. Finish dinner a little earlier than usual, ideally when the sun has already begun to set, so the digestive system has time to settle before you lie down. As the evening progresses, reduce the amount of stimulation you invite in, dim your lights, gradually put your phone in another room, and allow your senses to quiet instead of feeding them with new information. This simple transition alone tells your brain that the day is ending, allowing melatonin to rise at a more natural pace. Once this rhythm feels comfortable, shift your attention to the habits that affect your skin and your nervous system more directly. Take your shower earlier in the evening, giving your body time to cool again before bed, because this gentle lowering of temperature is one of the strongest signals that it is time to sleep deeply. After your shower, choose products that support the skin rather than challenge it: a light peptide or ceramide cream, a few drops of squalane or vitamin E oil, or a fragrance-free moisturizer that strengthens the barrier without forcing turnover. The goal is to create an environment where collagen repair can unfold without distraction. As your evenings become calmer, incorporate a hydration pattern that supports both your skin and your sleep. Drink a moderate amount of water, just enough to replenish your system without making your night uncomfortable about 1 to 2 hours before bed. This timing gives your tissues the fluid they need for circulation, temperature regulation, and overnight healing. A warm herbal infusion can be especially helpful because it hydrates gently while signaling the nervous system to soften. Finally, create a closing ritual that your body can learn to recognize. It does not need to be elaborate: a few slow breaths, a brief stretch to release tension from your back and shoulders, or a quiet moment with your thoughts written down so they no longer follow you into bed. When repeated consistently, this small routine becomes a cue that your body begins to anticipate, helping your hormones settle into a pattern that feels calmer, deeper, and far more restorative. Understanding these 7 nighttime mistakes is not about perfection. It's about giving your body the conditions it has quietly needed for years. When digestion is calmer, when temperature and hydration support your hormones, and when your thoughts settle gently instead of carrying tension into the night, your skin and sleep begin to restore themselves in ways that feel natural again. Small changes repeated with intention create a powerful shift in how you age, how you rest, and how you feel each morning. If you find value in these science-based guides and wish to support the growth of this channel, you are welcome to make a small donation. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps me continue creating educational content for women around the world in a sustainable way. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this video helped you, please remember to like, share, and subscribe so more women can benefit from this knowledge. I appreciate you deeply, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.